Yo, it's official. Like a referee with a whistle. Like, shares episode, and all that good stuff, man. And we gonna do like we always do. We gonna talk that talk, and we gonna go out and make it happen. So, I'm gonna do. I decided I'm gonna do a late night show like I used to do in the past. It's been a long time since I've done one of these. But I was just looking at the Johnathan Majors interview, and you know, the Johnathan Majors interview was very interesting. What up, Big Mike? Hey, Big Mike, I'll be up, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm a night owl. You know what I'm talking about? I'll be up all kinds of nights. You know what I'm talking about? I'll be up, man. I sleep daytime and nighttime. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the Johnathan Majors interview was very interesting. You know, and I think he's supposed to be in a relationship with Megan Good. I don't think that shit is real. The relationship with Megan Good and Johnathan Majors. She just came out of nowhere all of a sudden. That shit ain't real. She probably got paid by some PR firm to all of a sudden, hey, we need you to we need you to act like you're dating Johnathan because he's going through a lot. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a good move. You're right. It's not. I mean, it doesn't even. It just comes off like it's not even real. If you look at the interview and when they walking in the courtroom and walking out the courtroom together, yeah, yeah. And you got to keep in mind these people are. Megan Good is a good actress. Megan Good, I like. Hey, Megan Good is. She's a nine or dime piece. She's Megan Good as eye candy. Don't get it twisted now. She's a good actress. Now Johnathan Majors, he's a good actor, but yeah, it's just she's being paid to be with Johnathan, and that's okay. That's his business. He's going through whatever he's going through with his case, and he's gonna get sentenced next month, if I'm not mistaken. That's what they said in the interview, anyway. But it seems like it was a setup. I'm gonna say that based on my opinion and experience. You know what I'm saying? But Johnathan said something like, he wish he would have just gotten out the car and just ran and got away from her instead of picking her up and putting her back in the car, then trying to get away. I said, okay, whatever, he said he wish he would have just got out the car and just ran away. Well, then I was like, well, you tried to run away. She ran behind you, bro, and started hitting you, trying to get the phone from you. So that wouldn't have worked anyway. You tried to get away the second time. Once you picked her up and put her back in the car, and she wouldn't stay in the car. So that wouldn't work. At least for him anyway. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I ain't gonna be here long. Yeah, I didn't come on here to be on here long. You know, I just wanted to say what I thought about the interview. And P.S. And by the way, people have been asking me about this lately. This is kind of off topic, but if you want to learn how to do online dating, go to my Patreon and click on the store tab. That's where you're going to find out all the information on how I've met thousands of people online. I've met thousands and thousands of women online, groups of people online, and even couples I've met online through just online, period. It don't even got to be a quote, quote, dating site for me to show you how I do it. And I'm going to say this for the record. Nobody meets people like me online. I don't know anybody that has done it like me. And I'm not bragging, but I'm just telling you how I get down. And I still meet people online to this day. And I'm not talking about just a dating website. No. This goes beyond just a dating website. So if you want to find out how to do that, go to my Patreon website, go to patreon.com/sharpgame and click on the shop tab. And that's how you're going to find out all about that. So back to our regular scheduled program. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes, she got away with abuse that was on video. Yeah, they didn't enter that evidence in the case at all. So that lets me know it was a sham. He got railroaded. That tells me it was a setup. And plus, based on what he said, and what prosecutor said, that there was already a case. Well, he made a report previously saying that his girlfriend assaulted him, but they didn't do anything about it. They said there wasn't enough evidence to do anything about it, and so they let it pass. But now, when it's his turn, because Johnathan, he called the police when he saw her in the closet laid out. He called the police because he said he didn't know what the hell was going on. He didn't know what happened to her, so he called 911. So when it's his turn, he calls 911. He's trying to do the right thing. I get it, but sometimes the right thing don't end up being the right thing. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going to say that one more time. Sometimes doing the right thing don't always end up being the right thing. And if you've been around long enough, you know what I'm talking about. So sometimes, man, you can make all the right decisions at any given moment. And things might go left, even though you had good intentions. And that happened. That has happened to me before. Even though I had good intentions, I'm like, I didn't meant for that to happen though. It's just that type of shit. And it's the reason why it's like that Because in this society, we have too many double standards. One person can say one thing and he's great. The next person can say one thing, no response. So it's that type of dynamics that play out in this society that we live in. You know, one person can dress one way, no response, no looks. Another person can dress the same. Oh man, you're so fine. Ooh, and all the ooh. It's that type of shit. You know? So that's how it is in this society that we live in. You know, sometimes it's the who more so than the what. That's how it is. That's how it is. You know, we see this with celebrities a lot. You might have a celebrity that's in the good grace of the media. It can say and do almost anything, even act a fool. And the media will eat it up. We see this with athletes too, football players. Some football players can act a fool, say and do almost anything. And they'll be like, oh man, he's such a party dude, man. He's such a, he's full of life and all this shit and whatever. And we've seen players like AJ Brown, for example. He can't say and do shit. He can't. He can't. I tell you what. What's that dude name from Kansas City? Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is a rock star in the NFL. If AJ Brown did what Travis Kelce did, shit, man, that would be unacceptable. He might get released from the team. If AJ Brown did what Travis Kelce does, I should say, because of the double standards. You know what I'm saying? And these celebrities, they go through the same shit too. Because at the end of the day, these people are entertainers. Whether they're athletes, singers, rappers, etc. And everything is not what it seems most of the time. That's why people used to say, believe half of what you hear and half of what you see. You know what I'm saying? Everything is never what it seems. That's why you should take what people say with a grain of salt most of the time, especially these entertainers. And you got to always keep in mind that a lot of guys in this society are never going to upgrade their social skills so they can have better relationships with women. Some guys are always going to have problems with women. It doesn't matter how much money they got, how much celebrity they got, or how much celebrity they don't have. He can be a regular Joe. So, there's certain guys are always going to have problems with women. They're always going to. A lot of these guys today, and it's always been this way, but it seems to get worse over time. There's some guys are socially awkward, just in general, and this goes above and beyond just women. They're just socially awkward. There's some people are just not used to interacting with people long-term interaction. There's a lot of people out here that's like this, especially the younger people. People are like in their 20s. They're used to being on the cell phone and using email and texting. and not so much video, a little bit of video, but that's how they used to interact. But the problem, I'm not saying that people shouldn't use technology. What I'm saying is you should become a great communicator and a great listener. And you should have a pretty decent understanding behind or between the psychology between men and women. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? See, if you understand the psychology between men and women, that's going to take your text game, your email game, your video game to the next level. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. This goes beyond just dating. This goes beyond just meeting people. This can help you make money. This can help you make a living. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Because before I came online, I used to teach people how to make money. That's what I used to do before I got in the online space. I used to teach people how to make money. I used to teach people how to take what they're doing in their everyday profession and blow it up. Come on, take what you do in your profession, regardless of what it is, and come online and blow it up and expand and make more money. That's what I used to do before I came in the online space. I stopped doing it for a while because, I was like, hey, I'm going to just do my own thing. I'm going to focus on myself, And that's what I did. But it's not just about meeting women all the time, dating women all the time. That's great. You can meet anybody you want to meet. You can meet any woman you want to meet around the world today. But a woman shouldn't be the center of your universe, so to speak. You know what I'm talking about? A woman should be like icing on a cake, like an add-on. That's how I see it anyway. You shouldn't put a woman on a pedestal. That doesn't make logical sense to me. And I didn't see that when I was growing up. My dad didn't put my mom on a pedestal. What I saw is two people that were a team when I was growing up. That's what I saw when I saw my mother and father. Nobody was better than anybody. They were a team. They worked together. They love each other. That's what I saw. You know what I'm saying? But nobody has to be. It don't have to be no ego involved. That's the thing. I don't understand. People make relationships so complicated. It really ain't complicated at all. It's just two people that are coming together for whatever reason. They're making a decision to be together. And they're not together because they have to be together. At least you shouldn't anyway. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be in a healthy relationship, y'all together because y'all want to be together, not because you have to be together. That's a big difference. It's a big difference. So another problem that I see today is you have a lot of guys out here, and this is probably the majority of guys. They don't want to compete, period. They don't want to compete for no woman. They don't want to compete for no job. They don't want to compete for no business. They don't want to compete for anything. They want things to be systematic. They want to be able to walk into a room and everybody just lay down and treat them like they're Jesus Christ, Almighty God. They want people, women mainly, to respond to them like they're God, like they're God. They got that God supreme complex going on. So these types of guys, these are the majority of guys in the country are like this. They will never admit to it though. They want to use the laws and public policy to try to kind of pigeon women in a hole, like put women in their place. When you hear a guy say you need to put women in their place, these are the guys that I'm talking about. They want to pin women in a corner and come up with laws and public policies to kind of manipulate the system to put women in their place, put them in a position where they don't really have a lot of options. It's either this or that. You know what I'm saying? And these guys want to benefit, capitalize by putting women in their place so women can act like they used to act. Like when your grandfather was growing up, or probably when your dad was growing up, if your dad is like 70 plus. You know what I'm saying? Because like back when your dad or your grandfather was growing up, you know, a lot of these guys didn't have to compete for women. They didn't have to compete. It wasn't like it is today. You know what I'm saying? It was like one guy, more than likely somebody would make an introduction, and once y'all decided that y'all wanted to be together, then you would meet the dad, the woman's dad, and then the dad would determine if you was the right type of guy for his daughter. See, so you got a lot of guys today, they want things to go back the way it used to be. You know what I'm saying? And see, let me tell you why. Let me tell you what this does though. If things are the way they used to be back in the day, today and time, what's going to happen is that keeps certain guys away from certain groups of women too. Now, that's what this really about. This is really about. They want to keep certain women away from people like me. Yeah, see, what happens is, when I walk in the room, their wives and girlfriends is looking at me. You know what I'm saying? And they're attracted to a guy like me. And a lot of these guys don't like that. You know, and they don't understand that. They're like, why are you attracted to a guy like him? We've done everything in our power to try to get you not to like him, not to even look at him. But this bitch is still looking anyway. So you got a lot of guys out there that they think like this. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a lot of guys out here, they don't believe in consensual sex between certain women. It just doesn't make any sense to them. You know, this is why a case like Johnathan Majors, him and his girlfriend together, she's a white woman now. That just don't make no sense. Now, to justify why it would make sense, they would say, "Oh, that's Johnathan Majors. He's a celebrity. He's an entertainer, so he gets a pass, right?" But take a guy like me. I'm not an entertainer. I'm not a celebrity. Nobody knows me except people on the streets. They know me, right? People in the trenches, they know me. On the relationships with people I have, they know me. but I'm not I'm not famous. So a guy like me, like interacting with a white woman in public, that doesn't make any sense. Who is this guy and why is she giving him the time of the day? You know what I'm saying? People think like this in 2024. This is not far-fetched. You know what I'm saying? This is why a case like Johnathan Majors, this is why it can be manipulated. It can be turned into something else that probably wasn't even close to what it was in the first place. It shouldn't have never went to court. But you have people that will hack the system, manipulate the system to their advantage because it generates money for them. It generates money for the judge. It generates money for the DA. You know what I'm saying? It's a money grab. So you have people that if a case goes to court, you have jurors that sit at the table. There's usually 12 of them that sit at the table and listen. Sit in the courtroom and listen. And then after the case, when it's time for them to make a decision, they go in the back and sit down in a conference room. 12 people. It's supposed to be 12. They have to make a decision based on the case. So your freedom is in their hands. And those jurors on that case, you can manipulate them easily. The attorneys a good attorney can easily manipulate them. And the reason why it's so easily to manipulate them is because they already jaded. They already have certain stereotypes about certain people anyway. If I'm from the backwoods of Alabama, sorry, Anthony. If you got a guy from the backwoods of Alabama, somewhere in like Mobile or something like that, or Mississippi or upstate New York, or the backwoods of Georgia, and you got a case that's out in one of these small towns, man, you're probably going to lose if it goes to court. You're probably going to get found guilty because a lot of these people are biased. They discriminate a lot. They've been programmed to believe that if the person that doesn't look like them, they don't give them the benefit of the doubt. And this programming started when they were a kid. And as they get older, they just tend to get worse because that's just most people. The older they get, the worse they get. In most cases, most people don't get better as they get older. They get worse. And that's just how it is. And you shouldn't take it personal. That's just how it goes. And in a case like this, like Johnathan Majors, nobody can help you in a case like this. It doesn't matter how much money you got. You don't think Johnathan Majors got good attorneys? He probably got the best attorneys that he could get, that money could buy. And they still lost. Because everybody's in on it. The attorney's in on it. The DA's in on it. The judge is in on it. Everybody's in on it. The jury's in on it. And everybody's white. 9 times out of 10. So how you gonna win? in a situation like that, it's damn near impossible. They have all the power in a case like this. So if you play their game, you lose. It's been proven to be like this. So this is why I say you have to know the game up front. You have to know, you have to be aware of it. You have to be aware of it. You have to know. I'm not saying you shouldn't date certain people. Certain people you probably shouldn't date, depending on your skill set and your level of thinking, your intelligence, etc. Right? But if you know, you have to know how far to go with certain people. See, he thought he could date this woman that he met on the damn movie set, some shit like that. He met this woman on the movie set. He don't know nothing about her at all. He met a random bitch on a movie set. And you surprised that she's running behind you in the streets of New York. Think about that for a second. That the best he could do? You met a random woman on the movie set. And you thought you could date her long term. That's a mistake he made. You have to know how far to go with certain people. And he didn't. That's a mistake a lot of people make. They try to make something fit that usually don't fit. Look, I'm not trying to be down with somebody that ain't really feeling me like that. I look, if I don't want to be around people that don't want me around, I'm sorry. There's some people that try to force their will and their ideas and their existence and on people and they accept me, and I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Look, I'm looking for people that's looking for me. I don't. If this woman don't like me, fine. I don't got a problem with that. I don't like most people anyway. So I don't even get offended. You know what I'm saying? Most white women don't like me. And that won't bother me one bit. Yeah, and most people I meet, I don't like them the first time I meet them. Maybe they can win me over. Probably, usually not. But that's how it go. I know me dating a white woman is a recipe for a disaster because I know who I am. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll do business with them. Yeah, I'll do an interview with them. Yeah, I'll meet up with them, conference or whatever. But that's as far as it's gonna go. We ain't gonna date, get in a relationship and get married. That's never gonna happen with a white woman. Because I know I'm at a disadvantage. She can pick up the phone and make a 10, 15 minutes phone call 911, and my life is over. And nobody's going to be able to help me. That's a unfair, unbalanced relationship, in my opinion. But maybe my opinion don't matter to some people. And that's cool too. But this is my life. I have to do what works for me. This is my life. And I don't know about you, but I like to win. I like to set myself up to win in life. And me being in relationships with some women, it's a lose-lose situation. Me being in a relationship with a hood rat ain't gonna work. Me being in a relationship with a fat broad ain't gonna work. Me being in a relationship with a white woman ain't gonna work. I can go on and on, but I think I'm used to winning in life. That's it. I don't take no L's. You know, that's just me. You know, Alabama in the house. It's all good. You're speaking facts. Yeah, I'm just being honest. I'm telling you how shit. I'm telling you what I've seen works in North America, and it ain't a lot of it doesn't sound good, don't look good, don't feel good, but it is what it is. Anything else, if you walk around out here and act like things aren't the way it is, you're disrespecting yourself now, especially when they don't admit the evidence. No, they didn't. In fact, the jury said they didn't want to say he was guilty, but the way the rules were set and evidence missing, they had no choice. Yeah. What's your take on his relationship with Megan Good? I don't think that's a real relationship. I think she's being paid to do that, to hang out with him. That's all. But hey, Megan Good is nice to look at. You know what I'm saying? We love Megan Good. She's nice to look at. You know what I'm saying? We love Megan Good.
Yeah, boy.
We love Megan Good, man. She's eye candy. I can look at Megan Good all day long. God damn.
I fought the good fight. I finished the race.
I mean, the relationship is not real, but now I think the relationship is staged. It's made up, and I don't think it's a good move. You know, if Johnathan is trying to get in the good grace of Hollywood, that wasn't a good move. Now I don't know what he's trying to do. He started saying some weirdo shit like he's trying to compare Megan Good to Coretta Scott King. That's some weirdo shit. That didn't even make no sense. He said that during the interview. How that don't make no sense. And they kind of edited. They kind of cut it out the first time when he said it in one of the videos because it didn't make any sense. How do you compare Megan Good to Coretta Scott King? That didn't. He lost me on that one. Hey, Shelly.
I fought the good fight.
What the hell? Yeah, that was some weirdo shit. But you know, it's all good. But it's gonna be interesting to see how much what he get during his sentencing. Is he gonna actually get time? Or get some public service duties or some shit like that? You know? But we at a point now, man, where you know, you have there's an attorney. This shit is wide open out here now, man. There's an attorney I think he's out of New York. He's suing anybody, any institution, any organization that helps Black people and veterans. I forgot the attorney's name, but this shit is wide open out here now, man. Yeah, and it started last year. Yeah, I'm like, damn, they just wide open with this shit. And what they're doing, what he's doing is using there's a law that goes back to 1866 as far as discrimination goes. And that's what he's using to basically say, now, see, the thing is, it wasn't a problem when these big companies and these nonprofits and these organizations were getting all the benefits and helping out whoever they want to help, right? Like 100 years ago, they was doing it. It was, as long as it benefits them, no problem. But when it's my turn, that's when it becomes like, for example, if I start a nonprofit and say, hey, I want to help all veterans. Hey, I want to help all young Black boys. See, then that's a problem. I can be sued. But see, when other people do it, no problem. But when it's my time, they change the rules. And that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me tell you when I knew this, when I found this out. I found this out when I was trying to buy some property. When I was trying to buy some real estate. That's when I found this out. Because there was a seller that owned this property that I was trying to buy. And he said we put in an offer, right? I told a realtor to put in an offer. And, the realtor said, hey, man, this dude, he's a veteran or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 this and that or whatever. And that's what he told the seller, right? The realtor told the seller. And the seller was like, he turned it down, right? So I'm like, yo, what's up with that? And he was like, I don't know. I'll find out. So to make a long story short, I ended up losing out on that property. I didn't get it. Now, let me tell you when I found out. I found out 3 months after that property got sold to somebody else. And I saw the seller at Home Depot. At Lowe's. I saw that seller at Lowe's, right? And I asked him, I said, hey, you look familiar. You used to own that property of such and such road in that town. And he was like, yeah, I ended up selling that. So I'm like, yo, I made an offer to you. This realtor represented me. I was the veteran dude. And he was like, oh, yeah, that's right. So I said, hey, man, I'm just curious. How come you didn't accept my offer? And that's when he told me that he was basically afraid. He basically afraid to take the offer because I was a veteran, because he didn't want to fuck with no veterans, because there's an attorney going around suing people. And they label it as discrimination. Yeah, Yeah, this is real shit. I'm not making this up. You can Google this. There's an attorney, I think he's out of New York. Yeah. So anybody that's helping veterans, especially black people, that's help, especially if it could be a white person that's helping veterans or helping a black person. If that's the majority, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna get a lawsuit at some point. That's you know, that's how it's going out here now. This shit is wide open out here. So you got guys like this attorney that's out here. They want things to be the way they used to be. They don't want to have to compete for anything. No more. They want shit to be the way it used to be when your grandfather and grandmother was growing up, or when your great grandfather and great grandmother was growing up. They want to go back to those times where if the white man walk in the room, the women just lay down. The women just submit by default. They don't want to have to compete for nothing. That's how a lot of guys want. They want shit to be like that. Yeah, they want to walk in the room and the woman just lay the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how it's going now out here. And you can look this up, by the way. I'm not making this shit up. This shit is real. Damn, that's crazy. Were you trying to use the VA loan? Yeah, I use the VA loan. Yeah. 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 As a matter of fact, they were trying I ended up having to get I had to find another realtor because that realtor wanted me not to use the VA loan. He was like, hey, why don't you use some other loan? Well, I don't know which one it was. Why don't you use another loan instead of the VA? Maybe he'll change his mind. I said, of course he'll change his mind. But I ended up getting rid of him because he was a failure. He failed 3 times. He failed 3 times. You know, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I shouldn't have waited. I shouldn't have gave him 3 times to make an offer. He failed 3 times. 3 times you out. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes, business-wise, with a lot of people out here. And a lot of it, you're not going to hear about it because people don't talk about it. But this shit is wide open out here. And people, when it comes to public policy, people want things to be, they want their kids, when their kids get grown and become adults, they want their kids to be set up like their grandfathers was back in the day. They get the best women by default. That's how it was. That's how they wanted to be. That's how it was back in the day. Their grandfathers, they got everything by default. They got all the money, all the loans, all the resources, all the women. They didn't have to compete for anything. That's where they want things to go back to. They want it to be just like that. They want it to be where they don't have to compete against any other man for anything. Yeah, that's how they want it to be. They want it to be where if I want the job, I'm going to get the job before you by default. Because I'm associated with this group that's elevated over you by default based on public policy and laws in the United States of America. That's what in this election that's coming up, it's probably one of the most important elections ever. Because you have people trying to basically take all our rights. Yeah. Yeah. You have guys that just believe in using laws and public policies. That's it. They don't want to put in no work. They don't want to have to compete. They don't want to have to compete for anything. Like when your grandfather was living back in the day, they had to fight for the things that they wanted. And then after the fighting was done, they still didn't deliver on what they supposed to deliver on. For the most part, they didn't. Not everything. They didn't do what they supposed to do. After the fighting was, after everybody put their weapons down. You know what I'm saying? They didn't. There was a lot of trickery going on back in the day when your grandfather was growing up. I know when my grandfather was growing up, a bunch of trickery going on back in the day. A lot of bait and switch. That's why, like, when you're driving if you're on Interstate 95 or I-85 or any of these interstates, and you see hundreds of acres, you might be driving past somebody's house or driving past a farm or some shit like that, and you see 30, 50 acres of land, and you be like, God damn, how the hell he got all that land like that? They gave it to him. He got it for dirt cheap back in the day. And that shit was passed down 2-3 generations. Yeah, the city gave it to him. When his great grandfather came over here. Or maybe that's what happened. They didn't buy no 100 acres of land. Look, in my family, we had 127 acres of land that got stolen, hijacked, co-opted. Yeah. They wasn't buying 127 acres of land back in the day. No, they robbed people, robbing and stealing. They want to be able to do that today and moving forward. They want to be able to come to your house and just take whatever they want with no consequences. That's why they want to change the laws and public policies. Look at California. Look at the laws in California. Look what they did last year, a couple months ago. They made it where if somebody can do a crime, but if the amount of the crime ain't over what, $1,000, some shit like that, the person don't really have to go to jail in California. What type of shit is that? That's how they want it to be. They want to be able to come to your house, do whatever they want to do with you, no consequences. So the criminal has more rights than you. That's how they want it to be. Because that's how it was in the past. If you had something that they wanted, they would just pull up at your house, pull up on your property, and take it. If you couldn't stop them, they would just take it. Yeah, that's how they want it to be. Just like they don't want to have to compete for nothing. For no woman, no job, no resources, no nothing. And you know what's crazy? Well, it ain't crazy. Those laws that were on the Constitution back in the day, They're still there. They ain't go nowhere. They ain't go nowhere. And they change the laws, whenever they feel like it. It goes back and forth, I tell you what, you remember when the O.J. Simpson went to trial? They changed the laws because of O.J. Simpson. A lot of people don't know that. When O.J. Simpson won, I'm talking his first case, the federal case. When he won that case, they went back and changed the laws, man, because they took an L. They had to go back to the drawing board. He thinks if he gets this change that it would mess black people over. He's actually going to make something super awesome happen to African Americans. What are you talking about, Mike? What up, Marcus? They're also trying to keep us from leaving the country. Oh, they already started doing that like 6 months ago. They're making it difficult for people to get passports now. And even if you have a passport, depending on what country you go to, you might have to get a visa before you sometimes before you even leave. Or when you get there, get to the airport, you have to pay, right? And most of the time you have to pay for a visa. They're turning people around now. And they don't necessarily have to give you a reason why you can't get a visa. They'll just say, hey, it didn't go through. You got rejected. Yeah, so yeah, they making it very. It's not like a home run the way it used to be. Just depending on what country you go to. If you don't have a passport and you don't have a clean record, they probably gonna make it difficult. Yeah, you're better off having a passport with a record. Yeah, you're better off having a passport with a record today. But if you don't have no passport and you have a record, they'll give you a hard time today. Yeah. And then all them crime. You know how a lot of these dudes will travel to these places and raise hell in these other countries, do all the crime and all that shit. You can't get away, and they'll do all the crime in that country, then haul ass. You can't get away with that like you used to. They're starting to track people down now. If you do a crime in Japan and you leave, oh no, they'll track you down now. You're gonna have to pay for that. You can't just get away like you used to. Them days is about over. Nah, that shit is kind of changed now. But that crime, that's gonna follow you now. I'm not saying every place is like that, but there's a lot of countries that are starting to be like that now. Because you know why? Because it used to be when it came to traveling, if you saw somebody in some place like Thailand or Vietnam or Brazil, Colombia, 9 times out of 10, he was a veteran. I'm talking this is like the 90s or 20 years ago. 9 times out of 10, if you saw somebody in Japan and if they weren't military, 9 times out of 10, they were a veteran. They used to be in the military. They got out and they just kept traveling, or they just moved over there or never left. But now it's starting to be, you got people that ain't never been in no military and they're traveling to these different countries. And a lot of people don't like that shit. No, a lot of people have a problem with that. Nah, that's big. A lot of people have a problem with that right there, man. They don't like that. There's too many people traveling that ain't no veteran. A lot of people don't like that. They done went to the Supreme Court trying to come up with laws and public policies to make changes, make it difficult for you to get a passport and a visa. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's a lot of haters out here, man. I'm telling you, a lot of haters out here, bro. And you know what's, a lot of guys don't know how deep that hatred goes. That hatred goes deep. That hatred goes deep, boy. And I saw a shift when I was in the military in 1998 when we went to Australia. When we went to Australia, and this is the first time I've seen this happen based on my experience. When I was in Australia, I saw a white woman walk past the white guys to get to me. When I saw that, I was like, yo, this shit has changed. This shit ain't gonna be the same after this. And I was right. And it hasn't been the same since. You got women out here that they're like, shit. If he choosing, hey, I ain't never done it before. I ain't never talked to a guy like him before, but hey, I'm down. For real. And a lot of these guys from these other groups, boy, they have a big problem with that. A lot of these guys that you work with at your job, they're never happy with you or me dating their women, dating their sister, dating their mom, dating their cousin. I don't care what they tell you. They're never happy with that, buddy. Get out of that la-la land, that delusional world that you in. They're never going to be happy with you dating the women in their group. I don't care what country you talking about. I don't care if it's Colombia, Brazil, Japan, China, Australia, Mexico. These guys are never going to be happy that you're dating some woman where he's from. And if they say anything different, they lying. They lying. That's a lie. And that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? Get over it. Shit. And stop trying to please people. Anyway, stop trying to please people and make people comfortable. They're never going to be comfortable with you. That ain't happening. You're going to be living the rest of your life trying to make people comfortable and please people. It ain't going to happen. Either they like you or they don't. Period. That's it. Did you hear about the false paternity law in Tennessee? Nah, I ain't heard about that. That shit happens all the time, though. How did your family get screwed out of their land? Oh, easy. What happened is my grandmother family was Native Indian at the time. I don't remember what tribe. And they got reclassified. And the deal was they got reclassified to Negro. And the deal was they would get benefits. They would get money. That was the deal. And they would get, mainly money. Money, anything farm related, because they were farmers, right? But my grandmother told me when she looked up, they were reclassified to being a Negro, and all the damn land were gone. God damn! Everything that they said they were supposed to get, they never got no money. They never got no supplies for like all the shit that was destroyed, basically, and everything was gone. So after a couple years, when my grandmother got married, my grandfather ended up getting like 4 acres of land. And here's the deal with that. Now, in South Carolina, I don't know how it is in any place else. In South Carolina, it was like this. If you were a farmer, you took a deal. Now, there's a catch with that deal as a farmer. They would leave you alone, and you would have to distribute all the corn and cotton and tobacco through the white guys. And you wasn't going to make no money. But they would leave you alone. They wouldn't rob you. They wouldn't send the clan over there and fuck with your family and none of that shit. That was the deal. But you weren't going to make no money. See, all the white guys, everything was set up for the white guys to make all the money. So that's how my family got screwed. They took the deal. They actually believed. I don't know. Somebody in my grandmother's family believed them for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why they believed them, but they just believed them. That's a mistake, you know, because if you look at history, these people have never ever upholded any peace treaty, no documents, no laws, never. It's never happened in history. They've never upheld no laws, no public policies when it comes to them. Now they'll use the laws against you. Oh yeah, they'll do that. But that's the short story. That's how it happened. They fell for the okie doke. And that's how they lost the 127 acres of land. As of the 10th, Brazil won't let you go there unless you consistently have $3,000 a month for over 3 months. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Mike. They make it very difficult. You know, so see, that right there, Mike, I don't qualify to go to Brazil. I don't make $3,000 a month consistently. My shit go up and down. You know what I'm saying? My shit is like a yo-yo. You know, my shit is like a yo-yo. I mean, I'm talking about at the moment. Of course, it could change in the future. That Johnny Somali was a U.S. plant. Oh, I don't know, man. Facts. That's a shame because mixed babies are so cute. Well, Shelly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. These people don't care about no kids, especially today. You know, my grandmother was adopted back in the day. And she was her grandmother gave her away. I'm sorry. Her mom gave her away. Her adopted mom gave her away to the family that I know today. So, and you have to understand, back in the day, it was like this. Where I'm from, I don't know about the rest of these places. In South Carolina, it was like this. If you stayed on the Indian reservation and you had a mixed baby, you had to get rid of that baby. That's how that was. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds harsh, but that's how it was. And my grandmother was a victim of that. She was adopted. And I knew something was different about my grandmother when I was growing up because she didn't look like the rest of her sisters. And I asked my mom about that for the first time, and my mom kind of went off on me. and I kind of left it alone until I got a little older, a teenager. And I asked my mom, hey, how come grandma looked different from the rest of her sisters? And that's when my mom came clean and said, hey, she was adopted. And that's when I got the story about the land and how she was a part of how the family was a part of a tribe, how she got kicked out the tribe and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's a lot of people like my grandmother that's still alive, bro. This is not new information. There's a lot of people got kicked out of Indian tribes back in the day. This is not new information. This is nothing new. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. Why won't Brazil let you go there if you don't make a certain amount of money? Does that mean you can even travel there for a few weeks? I don't know, Marcus. I've never been to Brazil. I've never even looked into it, so I have no idea. Sorry I came into the stream late. It's all good, bro. I think it is keeping at least 3K in it monthly. Oh, 3K in your bank account? Oh, well, okay. That's cool. I don't think so. Taking a look at Johnny Somali. I don't know who that is, Mike. I don't know. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's about all I had to talk about tonight. But now PS, and by the way, if you want to learn how to meet people online like I do, go to my Patreon and click on the shop tab. And you're gonna learn. I'm gonna show you how I've met people worldwide. I've met groups of women. I've met couples. I've met single women worldwide. This is how I was able to connect with people and meet people like I do. And this goes above and beyond dating websites. I do this shit on all websites. And I don't know anybody to do this shit like me. As a matter of fact, this year, I'm going to go on other people's podcasts and talk about my ideas, my strategies versus other people. Most people that talk about online dating, the advice is trash. It don't work for most people. It don't work. The shit people talk about is like, it's kind of common sense, but that shit don't work for most people. My shit work. And they tell you, oh, you should dress good, get a haircut, look good, smile in your picture, and take your shirt off and show your muscles and all that shit. Man, I ain't never done none of that shit. If you look at some of my pictures that I have posted, I ain't got the best looking pictures in the world. But I tell you what, I know what to say. I know how to communicate. I know what to say to get people to open my emails. I know what to say to get people's attention. That's the difference between me and these other people that's talking about online dating. And I know what works because I've been using it for 20 years. And I'm still using it to this day. I'm still out in these streets. I'm out. I'm gone. Peace.